Hey y'all, it is Asia, the fumbling farmer here in zone 8A in North Carolina. It has been a while, y'all. It's been a minute. I'm not gonna lie. I had to get my life together and figure out what I wanted to do. And I'm sorry if I just knocked the mic on you, but and how I wanted to go forward with this video thing. And for a while I was like, oh, I'm just going to make this year of gardening about me, and I'm just gonna garden and not video anything. But then I went outside and all the cute stuff is growing. I was like, I have to share this with the world. And so here I am sharing it with the world. So here we are. I wanted to start with my indoor setup. So I've started my tomatoes and eggplants and peppers here. There's nothing to look at yet because it is still, I just started it like 2 days ago. But I also have like cinnamon basil, a whole bunch of basils, echinacea, Thai basil. These are something. Oh, basket flowers. And then if we go down a little bit, lupines and dahlias and like thyme and oregano and Canterbury bells and different flowers there. And then down here is like more basil and gomphrena and other flowers here. And then if we kind of scan over this direction, we have our lemon tree. Our lemon tree always does this in the winter. It starts like yellowing, yikes, and losing its leaves. And I have to tell myself, don't freak out. As long as it holds on through the winter, then when it gets outside, it does bounce back and redevelop all its leaves. Now this one, I'm not sure if it's going to bounce back. This was my lychee tree, and the tip got broken off in transition, and it usually grows from the top. I've never seen it like grow out any other way, and it's developed some kind of fungus or something. So I don't know if this is going to make it, but fingers crossed. Then I have some, these are some kind of, they're tomato plants, but they're like a deck variety, like a bush variety, but they're like a bush variety. And you can see they have like little tiny flowers starting to form on them already. This right here is my strawberry guava tree that I'm trying to get growing. I grew it from seed. And then I brought my begonia in the winter just to see what would happen. So it was kind of traumatized for a little bit, but it looks like it's setting petals in there or setting blossoms in there to start making flowers. So that's pretty cool. All right, and that's kind of what I got going on inside right now. Let's go outside. My spider plant attacks me every time we go out this door. Okay, so here we are on the deck. And here we have a lot of other things I'm starting and trying to get outside. I had these extra pots. I've had them for a while. They're like peat pot sort of things. I hate them. I hate them because of this. Look at this. Isn't that freaking disgusting? But they do mold really easily. And they're just gross, but I guess they do the job. So out here we have dill and fennel, bok choy a little bit over here, some parsley, some places cilantro too. Oh, I think this is the cilantro. Oh, no. This is cilantro. This might be cilantro too. Yes, they are both cilantro. Look at that. And then over here, more bok choy, some arugula, some snapdragons. I'm going to try to get those in the soil soon. Then if we look over this direction, this parsley right here survived the winter. So I planted it last spring. It lived all spring long. It survived the winter. I've been cutting off or pinching off the leaves that look like this, that look like a little frost damage, and just pinching those off, but then the new growth comes through. So this parsley's been doing really well. In this bin here we have carrots, and I just planted something else in there. I came through with packets of seeds and just sprinkled them in, and who knows what I put where. I did try winter sowing some things, but you can't really see in there, and there's not really much to see. So I don't know if it successfully happened or if I didn't do it right. Either is possible. This one right here, I threw some seeds in, and I forget what I poured in. It's like either carrots or beets. I think this is beets. I think I put beets in there, or radishes. And the same with that one there. That's just dirt. And then This is like gardening surprise, isn't it? I don't know what it's going to be. It's either going to be beets or carrots or radishes, maybe onions, maybe cilantro. It's going to be exciting. Surprise. All right, let's look over there on that bench. Outdoors, I'm trying to sprout some flower plants. I don't see anything yet. And I'm actually going to move these underneath the covering today because, oh, there's a little something. Who are you? You're a gazania. Happy birthday, little guy. And here's another little guy walking through. That's so exciting. Ah! Okay. So, yeah. Anyway, so those are my flower seeds. So I've planted a lot more flowers this year than I have previously. I kind of want to do a lot more interplanting with flowers and just in my flower beds in the front and stuff, make them look cuter. All right, we are going to continue that direction. Let's go. So if you look over here, this is another one of those bush tomato plants that I have put outside. It was starting to lean over in its cup and get really big, so I just came and put it out here. We have some days next week or on the 15-day forecast. Oh, that's a big old bee going bzz. Ah! Don't be scared. It's more scared of you than you are of it. It's going to be fine. It's just saying hi. Okay. Oh, it's still buzzing close by. It's going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Okay. Anyway, a 15-day forecast has some temperatures down in like the 30s, so I'll bring it in then. But so far, so good. Okay. This is apparently, I don't know how to say this, bergamot. I don't know if it's bergamot or if we say it French like bergamot. Oui, oui, is this a bergamot? Bergamot. Oh, there's the bee. Oh, he's in a little hole there. We're in his house right now, and he's like, "Why are y'all here? Get out!" All right, here we have some mint. This is cilantro that I planted in the fall, and it survived through it and is coming kind of back. Oh, I think this is radishes. I want to say radishes. So I planted some seeds in here. They're coming up. I planted some seeds in here. This is a Swiss chard that I had planted indoors, and then I dropped the pot. So I put it in here. And then it looks like maybe more radishes. I don't know, y'all. I just came out with some spring seeds, like radishes and carrots and beets and stuff, and I just planted them. So I could see some more spring seeds coming up in here. I need you to imagine me saying that with quotation marks. And then I planted some there too. So we'll see how we do with that. My goal with this planter here is to have it be things that I want to use like regularly. For example, I got these chives here, and we use them all the time in cooking. And so we have a bunch down in the garden. Yep, way down there. But I didn't want to have to walk way down there to get them and get wet feet and all that stuff. So I moved them closer to the house, and it's been very, very helpful. All right, we're going down the stairs now. Let's do it. Okay, this right here, it doesn't look like much, but it is a North Carolina native hibiscus plant. And I had gotten it maybe 2 years ago. And I thought I killed it. So I just left it in its pot, like not cleaning up like I do. And then I noticed the next spring that it had green on it. So I replanted it at the beginning of next spring, and it grew into this whole big, beautiful flower plant. And so I was like, oh, I didn't kill it. So now I'm trying to repeat that process. But the other thing I did too is around the base of it, I planted some sweet alyssum seeds. So you can see them popping up there. So my goal is to have this big old bush and then the sweet alyssum kind of pouring out over the side. Okay, come on, let's go. Hold on, don't step on her duck. Here, come here, y'all. This is a side quest. My youngest is making herself a little chill out spot under the deck. So she has her chair and her table seating, and then a duck pond complete with the duck. And that's like her little pathway and everything, which I think is adorable. So of course I'm like an enabler with adorable stuff. So I'm going to go get her some fake grass to put down under there so it's nice and comfy. And some lights. We need lights. Okay, now here's the garden proper. You ready? So last year I had bought this and planted it, and it didn't do anything. It just sat there until maybe the fall, and then it got leaves on it, and then it didn't do anything after that. And then it was just a stick all winter, and I was like, oh Lord, I don't know if it's going to do anything. But look at the, ooh, there's a critter on there too. What is it? What are you? Focus. Sometimes if you tap the screen where the thing is that you want to focus on, it'll focus. Here. Okay. So, a little critter. I don't know if it's good or not good, but we're just going to let it be for now. So, I also have like these little, you probably can't see them, but there's tiny, tiny webs on there. So maybe that guy's coming to eat whatever those little tiny things are. Yeah, there. That's good focus, videographer. You rocking it. All right. So, anyway, this is a raspberry bush, and I have it planted in this huge bucket, and we're going to see how it does. All right, over here we have some yarrow. I had planted that last year, and it overwintered pretty well in this pot. I did have to go through and pull off some strands that had turned kind of yellow and it had frost, but mostly covered up in all the leaves and everything. It has been pretty healthy, and I think I'm just going to let this yarrow take over this pot, and that's what I'll have in here. I believe yarrow is supposed to be good for respiratory stuff, and I have asthma, and with kids going to school and everything, and me working at a school, we're always getting colds and coughs and this and that. So if yarrow is the thing that's good for respiratory stuff, we need it. All right, let's continue. This here is my garlic. I planted it last October, November. I think November. I planted it in November. There's two different types of garlic. I don't remember what they are. I have to come in here and refertilize it, but so far I'm pretty happy with it. Last year I planted this whole bed with garlic and another half a bed, and we just used my last bit of garlic. So I harvested maybe in April, and then we got until, what is it now, February? We got until, yeah, it's March right now, but I used it in February. We used the last bit of garlic in February. So we almost made a whole year not having to buy any garlic because we used the garlic from my garden, which I feel super accomplished about. And I'm going to say, if anyone wants to know, like, what do I start with garlic. Especially if you're in one of these warmer zones, because I just put it in the fall. You don't have to worry about bugs because all the bugs are gone in the winter time. Maybe in the spring I'll have to start worrying, but there are some bugs that like alliums and garlicky stuff, so I'll have to keep an eye out for those now. But for the most part, you just plant them and then leave them. I put some frost cover on days we got down to like 22 degrees here in North Carolina, so I put some frost cover on. 17, I think we got to 17. We got in the teens this winter, but otherwise they were mostly fine. So that's that. Okay, come on, let's keep going. Actually, can we go out and do like a broader view? I have to show like my plants. So here's the deal. That bed over there is really close to the tree, and it gets all overrun with roots and everything. So my plan is to move that bed up a little bit more here so that it's not quite getting overtaken by tree roots. This bed in the middle was one of the first beds I made, and if you can see at the bottom there, it's rotting out. It was a two-layer bed, and it's rotting at the bottom there, and so I have to move that one. So I have to figure that out. Other than that, all the other beds I'm quite happy with, but those two beds I need to figure out and move. So at some point I'll be doing that. Okay, in this bed over here, we have some snapdragons that actually overwintered and are putting out new growth that looks pretty healthy. Even this one here, while this one looks raggedy and this has all frost damage, this one is holding on still. So that's that. And then I have some strawberries over here. This, I thought, was lemon balm, but it's not. It's this weed thing. So we'll probably be pulling that up and planting something in there. And then over here, I have lemon balm coming back up. So every year I just cut it back in the winter, and then it comes back again in the spring. And I've had it planted in there for years now. And then these here are the chives. These are the chives that were down far away that I pulled these out and took half of them and planted them up top. All right, in this bed here, there's nothing going on right now, but I do have some peas planted around here, some snapping peas. They haven't come up yet, obviously. And then if you turn around, in this bin over here, I also planted some peas that haven't come up yet. And somewhere in here is also a potato. I took a potato and just put it way down in there. So we'll see. It's still a little early for that to come up. We'll see what happens. And then over here, I have oregano and mint. And last year I did a pretty strict pruning. Like I pulled everything else up by the roots. I divided it up, cut everything back and put it back in there. And I was worried it wouldn't survive, but it is popping back up again. So I'm glad for that. All right, next garden bed, we have my garlic chives are doing fine. They're in here and they survive all winter long too. So that's nice. And then yesterday I came out and added compost to this bed and then planted all my brassicas basically. So in this one we have Brussels sprout plants. There's some cabbage over there. I can't tell you which is which. I'm pretty sure this is broccoli. And there's some kale. Yep, right there. Good. And then Swiss chard that survived through the winter over there. It's looking rough, so I don't know if we call that survived, but it's still growing. And then here's an artichoke plant that survived the winter. Also looking a little bit rough, but I'm going to say that's surviving. So we might look rough, but if we still have life in us, then we're surviving. So that's this bed. These two beds are planted out. I added these hoops just in case we're going to get another cold snap. I can cover them up with frost cloth, but I also covered them because my plan is once it starts getting warmer and I see the cabbage moths and stuff, actually even before that, once it starts getting consistently warm, I'm going to cover this with insect netting because every year my brassicas and my kale and all that stuff gets like eaten up. Like the caterpillars and the little buggers just have a field day. And while I'm very happy for them and their families, I would like for my family to also be able to partake in the feast. So this year I am going to cover this up with some insect netting. The other thing too though is I like to look out of my bathroom window and be like, oh, look at all the greenness. And then when it's covered up with netting, you don't get the same effect. But I'm gonna have to suck it up and choose productivity over prettiness this year. So I won't see all the big beautiful green leaves, but I will know that they're under my insect netting and not eaten up. So that's what I'm having to, that's my adult decision I'm making this year. All right, let's keep going. Over here behind us, we have another snapdragon. This is kind of the reason that I don't want to move this whole garden bed, is because this guy looks so good. And I'm just like, if you're fighting for your life over here, who am I to like deny you of that? And I want to, so I'm either going to have to dig it up and replant it someplace or just leave this bed here just for this one little plant. So we'll see. All right, let's walk through. In this bed over here, this is the one that I will have to dig up. Let's get you a close-up look of the rotting out that's happening underneath there. So you see how that bottom one is rotting and the top one is just kind of growing or falling over it. And at some point, the dirt is going to all fall out. So that's that. This here, I don't know what it is. It smells minty, but not like super minty. It smells minty, but something different. So I don't know, but I think it is some kind of mint. It does grow all over this bed. I accidentally put it in there. I also see over here a leftover carrot friend. There's a little carrot friend in there. We just gonna let him grow until I decide what to do with this bed. But I think, oh Lordy, come here, honey. It's the key. The key got caught. Okay. So, oh, no. That's not all. Come on. We got one more thing. How'd I almost forget these? Look at these babies. Hi, honeys. These are my blueberries. And so this one, I have 3 different varieties. This one and 2 more there. What are the varieties? I don't know. I just know there are 3 different ones. This one always blooms first. And so as usual, it is. These are the little flowers that will eventually hopefully get pollinated and then turn into blueberries. And they're really pretty. They're like little cups there. So the blueberries are coming back too. All right, don't trip over the tree stump behind you. So that's exciting. And then let's see what else is going on. Come on, we can go see other things. This, I don't know why it's in the middle, but this is what I use to cover the blueberry plants with, so that once they get pollinated and start making blueberries, there's a squirrel behind us being nosy. So I put these on them to keep the critters from eating all the blueberries. All right, my tomato cage I came through, or tomato setup, I came through and took all the old stuff out and re-wrapped the wire and just made sure everything's set to go. I'm planning to put cucumbers in there again. And then I cleaned out all the pepper pots. I have to come through and add more compost to them. Let's see over here. Here is Anissa's garden. Has like little signs of spring. The daffodils there, the crocus there.
It's not looking.
But we're gonna make it look better. It's gonna be okay. And then in Nyla's garden, these are tulips growing here, so we'll see what happens. And then she has some lamb's, what's it called, ear?
Yeah.
Lamb's ear growing there. So that's kind of what we got going on right now. There's more, sure, flowery stuff. I was gonna say no, we're not doing it, but my videographer said no, we're doing it. All right, so out here are little spices of green, or spikes of green. I have to trim the flower off the hydrangea, but that hydrangea is coming back. And then over in the corner is our clematis that I always call chlamydia, and then I have to be like, nope, the 2 very different things. So that's the clematis over there coming back. And then over here is my sweet peach tree. This peach tree has been so much, y'all, through so much. I got it from my neighbor Bo. He's passed away now, but he was moving and offered the tree, but he offered it to us in the middle of like August. It was very, very hot, and I had to transplant it at that time, and it was struggled that year, and then the next year it struggled, and you can see like some of these ones were completely dead. I pruned it, and so we'll see how it does this year. But I see little tiny green coming back, which makes me very happy. There's also a little snapdragon here. Okay. And then over here we have our roses. These are butter popcorn roses. They'll be kind of white with a little yellowy tinge to them. Down behind them is my asters are coming back. So back there is the purple asters. And then there's just like other random stuff. Like I think this is a hyacinth. I think these are more snapdragons. I think these are like some kind of black-eyed Susan sort of thing. And then lamb's ear again. I came and cleaned this out, and some kind of like ornamental onion thingy. All right. And then here we have more hydrangeas, and there's something there. What the heck is that called? Azalea. There we go. I knew it was with an A. So the azalea's back there. Some hostas will pop up there. And then y'all, I'm looking down here. There's something happening over here. So I don't know what this is, but I guess I'll let it grow a little bit and see if it's something I want. All right. And then here's my hellebores, y'all. Aren't they beautiful? Look at them. So pretty. So these were from my friend Cindy, and I love them. Okay. What else? Jenny. So here we have Creeping Jenny. I came through and refreshed the soil in all these pots, so they're all ready to go. This looks kind of a mess right now. I got to figure out how to cut this rosemary back so that it looks better, because it's looking really rough right now. But those hydrangeas back there in the corner whoa, that was fast. Sorry. Those ones are starting to bud again, the ornamental onion. I have some more yarrow right here coming up. And then along this corner here will be some hostas should pop up through. Then I have more yarrow over here. This was a lavender plant, but it might be at the end of its days. But I'm letting it see. I'm going to wait a little bit. And then this right here, oh, I don't want to pull that, but I think that's a snapdragon too. And then I have another hosta that'll come up. Those are daisies, Shasta daisies, and then another hydrangea. And then I have big mallow plants that just haven't started coming up yet over there in the back. Okay. All right, come on past the trash cans. I guess we're doing a full garden tour. So my last little corner is this one here. So this one here has another azalea. It has more hellebores over there in the corner. Can you see the hellebores? All right, so more hellebores here in the corner. And then tons of mums growing through and some sedum. There'll also be some huge calla lilies that end up growing back in that corner as well. And then over here, usually I'll plant a little something in here, but right now I haven't really got into it. Actually, I had some lemon basil in there last year and I sprinkled some seeds in. I'm waiting for it to rain to see if that will help them germinate and do anything. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Oh, and then the daffodils by the mailbox. I'm going to take a walk up to our mailbox and look what's happening there. So I always called these daffodils, but I think they're actually jonquils maybe because they're kind of smaller than daffodils, but I love them. I think they're very sweet. I imagine fairies using them as cups at parties. Or maybe they could be hats or little fairy dresses. So I don't know. Fairies are using them somehow. I cut back this grassy stuff that grows like the fire flower spike sort of things. I have some, I think it's hyssop, anise hyssop. Yep, it smells licoricey. Growing over here, coming up, and then over in that back corner there is some sedum coming up. I also sprinkled a bunch of seeds of hyssop and balloon flowers in this bed too, so we'll see what happens. All right. So that's our garden tour. That's everything we have going on. We're going to count this as the first garden video of the year for 2026. Oh, am I very close? Sorry. For 2026. And I hope you enjoyed it and that you keep on watching and seeing what happens in this garden as I kind of puddle around and don't really know what I'm doing, but figure stuff out as we go. And that's that. Thank you for watching. Happy gardening, y'all.